Hey guys, it's Hasio. So today I'm going to be reviewing the Catz FightPad Pro. I was a avid a pad player back in Street Fighter 4. In Street Fighter 5, I am using the fight stick, but I picked this up to try it out to see, what I thought of it. I know a lot of people are curious on how this performs. So yeah, I played about 25 minutes of it, I would say, and overall I was pretty impressed. Very slight negatives, but anyways, we'll get into it now. So let's start here. So first things first, let's get I guess the elephant out of the room is everyone wants to know how the directional pad performs. Now, I was an analog player on my 360, and that's pretty much how I played Street Fighter. One downsides of the analog I did not like is when you're dashing. It's a bit awkward to dash with the analog. You can get used to it, but the one advantages of the directional pad is to dash is you just tap it, right? It's very simple, right? But the overall feel and the rotation of the directional pad is actually really nice. It's very smooth. There's no issue. So initially for me, because I was an analog player, it took a little bit of getting used to the directional pad. But overall, after I would say, I don't know, a few minutes, 5 minutes or something like that, I got a hang of it. I was able to get uppercuts out, fireballs out, hurricane kicks out. I was able to land my combos. Controlling the character overall with this pad is actually really nice. Which one do I like better? Preference, again, everyone's going to vary. I always tend to gravitate to the analog. Again, one downside I did not like with analog is, just dashing. This is just a lot easier to dash. So this itself, really good. I had no issues with this whatsoever. So I would, if you're curious how this performs, I mean, obviously everyone's gonna have a different take on it. But my initial impressions, coming from a controller before, is this is actually really good. It's really nice. It feels really nice. It rotates really nice. It's very easy to get your inputs out, and there's it just works, right? So your analog. So the only thing I'll talk about the analog, and I did mention on the unboxing, is your throw distance is a bit bigger than what's on the PS4, right? So if you are an analog player and you're used to this, moving over to this, the throw distance is a bit bigger. So there's a bigger circumference here. So you'll have to get used to that. It really made no difference to me. I jumped into it and I adapted, no problem. So the next thing is we'll talk about the buttons. So the buttons itself is pretty awesome. I'll say this is probably the biggest selling point for me when I was looking at the fight pads. Even the first generation of fight pads, I never picked one up, but the main selling point for me was the 6-button layout. Having the 6-button layout, I don't like playing with a 4-button layout and then like trying to do this or playing in Street Fighter 4 I was like limited to like my 4 normal attacks and the other normal attacks. So hitting combos, it was very cumbersome. Everything's crunched into this area here. With the Catz FightPad Pro, everything's laid out really nice. And one main thing, I don't know if you can see here by the difference, the buttons are bigger. So the square button, all the buttons are actually bigger than what's on the PlayStation controller here, right? So that's one thing to note, that the buttons are bigger and it's easier to actually hit your buttons, right? So that's actually a really nice feature that I like. Depending on how you play, I'm assuming most players play normal, which is they're going to use your thumbs to hit your buttons. Some people play claw, but I'm more of a thumb player, and I found that this was laid out perfectly for you because to input a throw, it's these 2 buttons. To input your V skill, it's these 2 buttons, and to input your trigger, it's these 2 buttons. So really, it made everything in Street Fighter 5 that much more simpler. You were literally just hitting this to throw, this to V skill, this to V trigger. So it was just fluid, like even just like V triggering, and with the combo, like a medium kick into a hard punch into a hard kick, or sorry, medium punch into a hard punch, a hard kick, and then V trigger and into a combo. It was just very fluid, very easy. So this to me is the biggest selling feature. This is awesome too. it's good. But to me, I think this is the for what I think it is, this is the biggest selling feature. So the triggers here. So the triggers they're good. Again, I don't use these buttons, right? You know, you don't have to use them. You can use them. There is a switch here, right? So what this does is what I figured out is it'll map your 3-punch or 3-kick to either this side or this side, right? So you know, if you're using a V reversal, you can map this to a 3-punch, 3-kick, right? So that's what these are for. So you can select which side you want the 3-punch, 3-kick to go on, either that side or this side. You have your select here, and you have your option start here. So it's good. It's out of the way. You're not going to hit anything by accident or anything like that. You have your PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 options here, right? Your toggle over here. And then you have your right stick and left stick over here. And really what this does is if you keep it on right stick, it'll allow both the analog stick and the directional pad to function. If you keep it on left stick, it'll just allow the directional pad to function and not the analog stick. So your analog stick would not work in the left stick option over here. So if you want both of them to work, just keep it on the right stick and away you go. So that's the back of it. So now this is where I'm going to talk about the one negative for me, and everyone's going to differ, is the how it sits in your hand, right? So one thing you're going to notice right away is one's more ergonomic than the other, right? So the PlayStation 4 sits in your hand. It's molded really nice. It sits in your hand really nice. You know, nothing to say, but like it feels good in your hand. This feels a little weird. Like I gotta say, like it's very edgy. Everything's like edged, right? There's no roundedness to it or anything like that. There's no. I mean, the feel is fine. You know, it's plastic, right? It is what it is, but it just feels a little weird. I don't. It's hard to say. Like this is like very very edged, right? This is a little bit better because it's shorter, so it's in your hand a little bit better. This is kind of sticking out, so it's like really jabbing into your hand here. So if you have a bit smaller hand, I can see maybe trying to use the directional pad, it might be a little weird. If you have a bigger hand, probably better. I have probably average hands. So that's my only downside, is just how edgy everything is. Everything's kind of like edged off and not rounded off. I wish they made it more rounder, more ergonomic, so it would just fit in your hand more comfortably. Oh, and your touchpad. So I did some review on this, and they do say this is a fully functional touchpad. I have still yet to see it. I don't have a game that uses this, like a touchpad sensitive game to test it out. I mean, but just looking at it, it doesn't look like it's a touchpad. I mean, it works as the button, right? It works as the button. So I don't know. I don't know if this is a fully functional touchpad. I don't think it is, but Catz website says it's a fully functional touchpad. I don't know. Anyways, guys. Oh, and the cord is 9.8 feet long or 3 meters long. So if you want to know how long that is, so it is a fairly long cord, and can go across the living room or whatever the case is. So that's pretty much it, guys, for the video, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you liked the video, definitely drop a like. That helps me. Any questions, comments, put it down below. I definitely look at that. And if you haven't subscribed already to the channel, please do so. That really helps me a lot. And thanks a lot, guys. Take it easy.